If you were asked who was the most polarizing player in the NBA right now, there would be a few pretty obvious answers that should immediately come to mind. Obviously, LeBron James has been a player you either love or hate for about a decade now. James Harden's unique ability has drawn tons of haters. Kevin Durant and the way he's handled certain things in his career would make for a good answer as well, and I'm sure most other great players could fall into this category as well, because greatness does attract more attention. But for the topic of today's video, we'll be discussing a player who could easily stake his claim as being much more polarizing than anyone else right now, and that player is Russell Westbrook. He may go through a lot of ridiculously high highs and some frustrating lows, but in this video, we're going to be talking about why a lot of people, myself even included, owe him an apology for how he's been treated over the last about a year or so. We'll be going over exactly what I mean by this, what contributed to the negative coverage of him, and why he still has a lot left in the tank playing at a very high level despite popular belief. Before we start though, it turns out about 64% of you watching right now aren't even subscribed to the channel. So please, if you enjoy the content, consider hitting the subscribe button, as not only does it help out a ton, but I would also very much appreciate it. Now with that being said, let's begin. When Russell Westbrook is at his best, he's been one of the most entertaining players the league has had to offer over the last decade. Young Westbrook electrified the crowd with his non-stop energy and unbelievable explosiveness around the rim, and most importantly of all, was that he got better each and every year and his production just kept climbing across the board. The pinnacle of his career came in 2017, when he was named the MVP of the NBA that season, and in that very year, he started making history, the likes of which we hadn't seen in a long time, as he actually managed to average a triple-double for the entire season. That same year, Kevin Durant had just left the Thunder in free agency, the talent around Westbrook was pretty lackluster to say the least, and despite all of that, he still managed to carry them to the playoffs as a 6th seed in the West. So with all of those things boosting his case, and the narrative being on his side, he took home the award. However, ever since that season where Westbrook was flying high on top of the basketball world, things have begun to go downhill fast for him in regards to how he's been viewed in the eyes of fans and the media. Which begins to lead us towards why I have to make this video in the first place. See, at the end of the day, winning is the ultimate goal in sports, and no matter how much you stuff the box scores, people want to see the best players at least win something. Expecting a championship in certain cases may not be realistic based on the supporting cast of top players, but winning a playoff series or two every now and then and playing your best when it matters is what's expected. In that 2017 MVP season, Westbrook and the Thunder would go on to lose in the first round to the Houston Rockets, which wasn't necessarily an upset by any means. However, the next season, the Thunder went out and got Paul George to play alongside him, so expectations rose. Russ would average yet another triple-double over the course of that season. The two of them led the Thunder to the 4th seed in the playoffs, and making a deep playoff run wasn't out of the question. However, they would once again come up short in the postseason, getting eliminated by the Utah Jazz in the first round, led by rookie Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert, which just is not a good look at all. Then, in the season after that, the feeling was that it could be Russ's last chance to prove that he could be a #1 option on a playoff contender. In the regular season, he, for a 3rd year in a row, averaged a triple-double, but then when the playoffs came around, they once again got sent home in the first round, this time at the hands of Damian Lillard's famous series-winning, game-winning shot. At this point, the general consensus was that people just weren't very impressed by his ridiculous box score averages because his individual play in the playoffs would typically decline a bit, and the first round exits started to weigh on everybody, having happened 3 years in a row, and that pretty much ended the Westbrook era in Oklahoma City. Last year, he got traded to Houston in hopes that he could work better as a sidekick alongside James Harden as a #2 option, with Harden being the number one option, and honestly, for most of the year, that duo worked pretty well together. But over the course, the playoffs came around, and Westbrook had arguably his worst showing yet. That leads us to this current season, where he once again was shipped out, this time to the Washington Wizards, in a trade that swapped him for John Wall, in hopes that he could help get the Wizards into the playoffs, and this year is where the amount of disrespect towards him as a player has peaked, because the Wizards have not exactly been living up to the hype. Now, I fully realize that most of what I've discussed so far has been pretty negative, which is probably confusing based on the title of the video, but I felt the need to give an overview of how he got into this circumstance so that I could better explain my reasoning moving forward. What I've discussed to this point is a basic summary of how the average fan looks back at Westbrook over the years, but a lot of important context is missing, and especially this season, Russ has been so much better than he's been given credit for. Starting with last year's playoffs, where admittedly he had a poor showing, only averaging about 18 points, shooting 42% from the field and 24% from three, I understand why people would begin to have the impression that Russ's talent is starting to fade and he's no longer able to play like the dominant guard that we've seen him be. However, there are two things that nobody ever really likes to acknowledge that happened to him that made things extremely difficult for him at the time. First, he was battling through a very serious quad injury, which of course limited his athleticism a ton. That quad had been bothering him for some time. And when you rely on your quickness and explosiveness as much as a guy like Russell Westbrook does, it's no wonder he struggled. On top of that, he literally got COVID last year, and we've seen countless examples of athletes that got COVID and struggled when they returned to the court. So again, Westbrook was a result of the circumstance. This all continued into this current season with the shortened off-season that we just had, so while he was trying his hardest to rest that quad and get back to full strength, he still wasn't 100% healthy when this season began. He continued to try to play through it, but the injury forced him to miss some time early on this season because it became too glaring of an issue from him. From the start of the season until about the All-Star break, Russ was averaging 20.3 points, 9.8 assists, and 9.7 rebounds per game, while shooting 43% from the field and 29% from three in that span. On paper, that looks good, but his efficiency wasn't great, he definitely didn't look as quick as we've seen him look previously, and the quad injury was definitely still impacting him. Then, after getting some much-needed rest at the All-Star break, he's started the second half of the season on an absolute tear, and in a season that at one point looked hopeless for the Wizards regarding making the playoffs, Russ has been leading them all the way back into contention, and the team is now one of the hottest teams in the entire league. Since the All-Star break, Russ has been averaging 23.3 points, 12.1 assists, and 12.3 rebounds per game, while shooting 45% from the field and 33% from three, all of which being drastic improvements from before. On top of the improvement in terms of individual production, the Wizards are currently on an 8-game win streak, playing their best basketball at the right time. The Wizards are currently in 10th place in the East right now, which will result in them making the play-in game if it stays that way, and I don't think any team hovering around the bottom of the Eastern Conference playoff table wants to have to face them in a play-in game with their playoff berth on the line. Russ right now looks to be back blowing by defenders, finishing strong at the rim, and even his jumper is falling at a more reliable rate, which brings me to my ultimate conclusion. With all of his previous shortcomings, way too many people in influential positions have written him off completely as a top player, and I'll be the first to admit that at times I too have fallen into that camp. The Russ we saw for most of the year last year was battling through injuries, and at full strength, he's still a force to be reckoned with for sure. Yes, at times he's been overrated by the general public, but the shift from that to now overcorrection to where everybody just likes to write him off completely with everything that he does well just isn't fair to him at all. He's having a terrific season with all things considered, and even though he's not the superstar he once was, he's definitely far from finished as a top-level player. When the John Wall for Russell Westbrook trade went down, it was viewed by many as a lateral lateral move for both teams involved, but it's pretty safe to say now that Westbrook is clearly better than Wall by a wide margin. You can choose to measure a player's impact in far more ways than simply box score watching, and I completely understand that Russ's numbers can seem inflated compared to his actual impact at times, but simultaneously you have to be reasonable and try to find a balance that doesn't just result in completely disrespecting everything Russ does out on the court on a nightly basis, which seems to happen far too often. He is red hot right now, and a lot of people do owe him an apology for writing him off too soon. And with that being said, that's all I have for you today. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below what you think about the way Russell Westbrook is treated by basketball fans. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.